In this video we will review some facts about deserts. But before we start, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for future updates. A desert is a region where it rarely rains. Some have large sand dunes or flat, stony terrain, while others feature rocky hills and mountains. During the day, the desert can be scorching hot, while at night, it can be freezing cold. They also have strong winds and minimal rainfall, making it difficult for only a few creatures and plants to thrive. Do you want to learn more about how this type of setting operates and what's inside? Learn about these 50 exciting desert facts and how to survive if you ever become stuck. During the night, temperatures in the Sahara Desert can fall below freezing. Temperatures in the Sahara Desert can drop dramatically after the sun sets, according to NASA. The temperature can decrease from an average of 100 degrees Fahrenheit, 38 degrees Celsius, during the day to an average low of 25 degrees Fahrenheit, -4 degrees Celsius, at night. Desert animals and flora have evolved specific adaptations. Desert animals and plants have particular adaptations that allow them to survive in harsh settings. To escape being eaten, plants that thrive here are water-resistant, can survive harsh circumstances, and thorny. The elephant tree, saguaro cactus, barrel cactus, organpipe cactus, brittlebush, turpentine broom, and desert palm are examples of endemic desert flora. Some annual plants can thrive in arid environments. Several annual plants that complete their life cycle in a single growing season, sprout, bloom, and die within a few weeks of rainfall, whereas other long-lived plants can survive for years and have deep root systems capable of penetrating underground groundwater. Desert animals recognize the importance of water conservation. Animals in the desert must regulate their body temperature, stay cool, and find enough food and water to last. These animals have adapted to water conservation by receiving the majority of their needs from their food and concentrating their pee. During the scorching heat of the day, the desert's nocturnal animals seek refuge in the shade or underground. Some desert creatures live in a state of hibernation. Some desert creatures go into dormancy or hibernation for lengthy periods of time, waiting for the rain to return them to life. Furthermore, these species can reproduce quickly while conditions are favorable before going into dormancy. The sidewinder rattlesnake can be found in North American, African, and Middle Eastern deserts. The sidewinder rattlesnake is one of the critters that can survive in the desert's blistering heat. They are most commonly found in the deserts of northwestern Mexico, the southwestern United States, Africa, and the Middle East. Their movement pattern allows them to avoid or reduce contact with the hot sand by flexing their body and curving it into an S shape. They lie in the desert sand to disguise themselves, hide from predators, and ambush their prey. Sand dune cats can be found in sandy and stony deserts. Sand cats, sometimes known as sand dune cats, are found in sandy and stony deserts. They are petite wild cats with light brown or light gray fur. Fur covers the soles of their paws, protecting them from harsh temperatures. They eat small rodents, reptiles, and birds, which provide them with the moisture they need in their bodies. Nevertheless, they will drink water if given the chance. These felines generally sleep in an underground burrow during the day and hunt prey at night. Living in the desert is exhausting. For thousands of years, humans have attempted and failed to survive in deserts and neighboring semi-arid environments. Living in the desert is difficult since we require a lot of water. Not only is it tough for us to exist here, but it is also difficult for us to raise cattle and crops. The desert is home to many lovely cities. Although living in a desert is difficult, there are some magnificent cities near or in a desert. Abu Dhabi, UAE, Cairo, Egypt, Karachi, Pakistan, Baghdad, Iraq, Doha, Qatar, Dubai, Las Palmas de Gran Canaria, Spain, and Lima, Peru all have hot desert climates. Desert farming dates back around 5000 BC. Desert farming is a method or strategy for growing crops in desert areas. Agriculture is heavily reliant on irrigation, so farming in desert locations where water is scarce will always be difficult. According to research, desert cultivation in the Negev Desert dates back to 5000 BC. Yes, desert farming can be done efficiently. Australia, Israel, Saudi Arabia, Palestine, and the Imperial Valley in Southern California currently boast some of the most advanced and contemporary desert farming or agriculture on the planet. Water efficiency has been critical to the expansion of desert agriculture. Despite the fact that they live in an arid region, desalination technologies, water reuse, and drip irrigation have helped them improve their desert farming. Simcha Blas was the driving force behind Israel's agricultural growth into desert regions. Israel was among the first countries in the world to pioneer modern-day desert agriculture. Simcha Blas, a Polish-Israeli engineer and inventor who invented the modern drip irrigation system, led the country to a tremendous increase of agriculture in dry regions and other locations that used the technique. According to research, the technology reduced water use by 80% while increasing crop yields significantly, causing Israel's agricultural output to more than fivefold since the country's independence in 1948. Deserts are classified into four kinds. Deserts are classified into four types: hot and dry deserts, cold deserts, semi-arid deserts, and coastal deserts. The hot and dry desert temperatures, often known as arid deserts, are warm and dry all year. Apart from the Sahara Desert, some of the most popular arid deserts are the Namib Desert in Africa, the Sonoran Desert in Mexico and the United States, the Sakura Desert in Peru, and the Tanami Desert in Japan, Australia. Asia, Europe, North America, and Greenland all have semi-arid deserts. Semi-arid deserts often have extended dry summers followed by rainy winters. Summer temperatures in semi-arid deserts typically range between 21 and 27 degrees Celsius, seldom exceeding 38 degrees Celsius. Temperatures at night are chilly, approximately 10 degrees Celsius. Cool evenings provide nourishment to plants and animals by minimizing moisture loss through transpiration, respiration, and sweating. Rainfall in a semi-arid desert is extremely low, averaging around 2 to 4 centimeters per year. Coastal deserts are slightly humid. Coastal deserts are slightly more humid than other types of deserts. Even when heavy fogs sweep in from the coast, rain is still uncommon. The best example of a coastal desert is Chile's Atacama Desert in South America, which is popular with all-terrain activities fans. This desert has hosted several championships, including the Lower Atacama Rally, Patagonia Atacama Rally, Lower Chile Rally, and Dakar Rally editions. An example of a frigid desert is Antarctica. Cold deserts are still dry, but their temperatures can be exceedingly low in comparison to other types of deserts. Summers in cold deserts are brief, moist, and moderately warm. Temperatures range from 21 to 26 degrees Celsius, with relatively long, harsh winters. Antarctica is classified as a cold desert by experts because it receives very little rain or snow. The United States is home to 4 deserts. The Mojave Desert is the smallest and driest of America's 4 deserts: Great Basin, Chihuahuan, Sonoran, and Mojave Desert. The Sierra Nevada mountain range and the California montane scrub border the Mojave Desert to the west, and the Sonoran Desert borders it to the south and east. Human progress has an impact on the flora and wildlife of the Mojave Desert. The rate of human progress in the Mojave Desert today is rather worrying, particularly in Las Vegas and Los Angeles. This increased development has a significant impact and may harm the desert's wildlife as a whole. If this continues, what remains of the animals and vegetation in the Mojave Desert will regrettably perish one day. The Gobi Desert has been popular since the 2nd century. The Gobi Desert, 1.295 million kilometers (2), is a massive desert in East Asia. Its territory includes northern and northeastern China as well as southern Mongolia. The Gobi Desert is well known in history due to its proximity to significant Silk Road cities. The Gobi Desert is one of the top 10 largest deserts on the planet. The creatures of the Gobi Desert have evolved to withstand the harsh desert climate. The Gobi Desert is one of the cornerstones of our ancient history since it is the site of several notable fossil finds, including the first dinosaur eggs, averaging 9 inches in length, discovered in the early 1920s. Despite the harsh environmental circumstances, the Mongolian wild ass, black-tailed gazelles, wild Bactrian camels, sand plovers, and marbled polecats, as well as snow leopards and Gobi bears, call this desert home. Deserts can be an excellent source of renewable energy. The world's most challenging deserts may be the best spots on the planet for solar power collecting. Solar electricity is one of the most abundant and sustainable energy sources available. Various efforts have already begun since deserts are huge, relatively flat, rich in silicon, and never short of sunlight. In California, for example, the Mojave Solar Project, a solar thermal power station in the Mojave Desert about 32 kilometers northwest of Barstow, generates all of its energy from the sun. In southern Africa, the Kalahari Desert is a vast semi-arid sandy savanna. The Kalahari Desert is a vast semi-arid sandy savanna in southern Africa, covering much of Botswana as well as sections of Namibia and South Africa. If you're familiar with the video game Mario Kart 64, a 1996 kart racing video game created and distributed by Nintendo, you'll recognize the track, Kalahari Desert, which is a reference to the Kalahari Desert in southern Africa. The ancient San people were well versed in desert survival. The San people, South African indigenous hunter-gatherer communities, have been hunter-gatherers in the Kalahari for 20,000 years. They eventually learned to hunt with bows and poison arrows and harvest edible items such as berries, nuts, and melons, as well as insects. The San people normally get the majority of their water from plant roots and desert melons found on or beneath the desert floor, and they would frequently store water in blown-out ostrich eggshells. The Sonoran Desert is the world's wettest desert. The Sonoran Desert, also known as the wettest desert in the world, is the only region on the planet where the saguaro cactus, a tree-like cactus species in the monotypic genus Carnegie that can grow to be over 12 meters tall, grows wild. The volume and seasonality of rainfall are distinctive features of the Sonoran Desert. Annual precipitation in the Sonoran Desert ranges from 3 to 20 inches, above the normal desert precipitation of 10 inches, with significant inter- and intra-annual variations in quantity and timing. Desert denotes empty, without residents, and abandoned. The phrase desert, meaning a dry location, is derived from a Middle English word that means barren, or dried up, as well as the Old French desert, which means without inhabitants, and the Latin verb deserere, which means to abandon or forsake. Sand makes up roughly 20% of the world's deserts. People frequently believe that deserts are vast expanses of billowing dunes. Deserts, on the other hand, are not always this way. Nonetheless, sand makes up about 20% of the world's deserts, ranging from 2% in North America to 30% in Australia and over 40% in Central Asia. Muslim Arab soldiers took advantage of the deserts. The Arabs were among the first organized armies to win battles in the desert. Muslim Arab armies were able to defeat both Roman and Persian forces during the Islamic Caliphate's expansion from 600 to 700 AD because they were familiar with the back routes and portions of oasis, as well as through deploying camels. Mars' surface is an arid desert. Apart from Earth, Mars is the only planet in our solar system where deserts have been identified. The deserts of Mars are mostly made up of half-moon dunes in flat places near the planet's permanent polar ice caps in the north. Furthermore, according to Mars exploration rover testing, the rocks have a surface film that matches the desert varnish found on our planet, even if it could just be surface dust. There are numerous historic sites in the Judean Desert. People have been farming in the Judean Desert since the 7th century BC to furnish food for desert forts. The Judean Desert is a desert in Israel and the West Bank that extends from east of Jerusalem to the Dead Sea. Although it is a small desert, 1,500 kilometers (2), it contains several historic landmarks, breathtaking nature reserves, monasteries, and primeval views, making it a unique and entertaining area to explore. Sub-Saharan Africa has an average of 8.42 deaths per 1,000 people. There are 5 to 7 basic desert survival rules, such as, preserve sweat, not water, build a fire, don't drink cactus, remain off the ground, stay high, stop seeking for food, and keep your clothes on. Although following these guidelines may help you survive if you become trapped in the desert, there is no assurance that you will make it out alive. If you want to know how to escape out of a desert alive, look no further than British explorer Bear Grylls. In this video, he chronicles his trip in the Sahara. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to our channel, since we will be covering a lot of similar content in the future. Till next time, stay curious.